on Lexie Hull got me riled up because this was early on in the game, and this was probably the best defense that Lexie could have played. If you watch this play here, she has her hand straight up. Like, this is really good defense that Lexie played here.
Even sidelined, the injured stars weren't just watching. They were orchestrating, barking guidance, mentoring every rookie stepping onto that court. Powers swatted away a shot like a thunderclap. She rotated, covering angles no one else could see, and snatched possession from Atlanta's hands. Play by painstaking play, Indiana clawed its way back, bite by bite. Gateway Center Arena roared, a tidal wave of sound meant to crush them, but the Fever turned it into fuel, matching every scream with unshakable focus. Every inch of the floor was a battlefield, every stop a declaration. They were not just surviving, they were fighting for legacy.by now. The truth was undeniable. This wasn't about a single superstar carrying the load. It was a symphony of heart, instinct, and sheer willpower stitched together from every corner of a roster that should have crumbled under pressure. And here's the twist, the WNBA just witnessed what might go down as the most audacious playoff sabotage ever. But it wasn't the refs calling phantom fouls, it wasn't a glitch in the system. No, this time the architect of chaos was the player everyone had written off, the one having the absolute worst night of her life, who flipped the script and seized control of destiny herself.
Are a tough bunch of I mean, I cannot even put into words how proud I am. It's like the toughness that it takes, like the gut checks that it takes. Like, yo, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we've been through all of it, right? Yeah. So it doesn't matter the circumstance. It doesn't matter the score. It doesn't matter the time. You always put your best foot forward. You always get to the next play. And it's always someone different.
They were adrift, gasping in a storm they weren't meant to survive. No exaggeration. This was a trap disguised as a playoff game, a gut-wrenching, do-or-die test designed to expose weakness. Win or disappear into history. 6. Count them. 6 players missing, ripped away by injuries that had haunted them all season. Resentment simmered from controversial calls that weren't errors, they were messages, broadcast loud and clear by the league. Against all odds, the Indiana Fever were supposed to fold, their fate sealed. But the world was about to watch a funeral turn into a revolution. Game 3. WNBA Playoffs. A fully healthy Atlanta dream on their home court. Nearly 4,000 fans baying for blood. Every eye on television glued to the spectacle. And for nearly a decade, Indiana hadn't won a single playoff series. That kind of drought isn't just numbers. It's a disease that seeps into the soul of a franchise, infects the fans, and lingers on every player who wears that jersey. The last time the Fever mattered, Tamika Catchings was still dominating the court. 2015 feels like another universe now. Yet here they were, entering the arena not merely to play, but to wrestle history itself. Their roster? A band of battle-worn survivors. Caitlin Clark sidelined. Sophie Cunningham out. Sydney Colson unavailable. Their scorers, their experience, their hope, all ripped away. The betting world had written them off entirely. But when the odds are zero, desperation becomes a weapon. They had nothing to lose, and everything to fight for. From tip-off, it was a street brawl masquerading as a basketball game. The referees were on notice after Game 1's phantom calls, but the players carried more than grudge, they carried vengeance. This wasn't just about victory. It was about reclaiming their name. Kelsey Mitchell, calm in the storm, became a one-woman army. 24 points, 19 before halftime, keeping her team afloat while Atlanta crowded the paint, double-teaming relentlessly. She refused to flinch. Meanwhile, in the trenches, Aaliyah Boston was locked in combat. Matched against the bigger Bree Jones, she absorbed hit after punishing hit in the low post. 14 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists. The stats tell a story, but not the full war. Each rebound was wrested from a sea of bodies. Each assist was a lifeline thrown into chaos. She anchored an undersized lineup with poise that belied her years. Then the veterans, the mercenaries brought in to steady the ship. Odyssey Sims, who hadn't suited up all season, erupted with 16 points and 8 assists, pure aggression, driving into contact, injecting adrenaline into a squad gasping for composure. Brianna Turner, barely in the rotation, became indispensable, blocking shots, contesting every angle, doing the dirty work that allowed others to shine. But then, the nightmare unfolded. Lexie Hull. Not just off, but catastrophically. Every shot clanged, every jumper missed. Her confidence crumbling, the court shrinking around her. 26% shooting over the first 2 games, a ghost on the biggest stage. Her team clawing for survival, and she was delivering bricks. A forgotten player, in a game nobody expected them to win, and then, the story flipped. Less than 30 seconds left, Fever down by 1. The arena roared, an almost suffocating wave of pressure. Kelsey Mitchell drove hard to the hoop, layup in, fever ahead. But Atlanta struck back, hope slipping like sand through fingers. The ball swung, perimeter to perimeter, landing at the hands of the one player everyone was pleading not to shoot. Lexie Hull, she launched. Buried it. Not just a shot, a resurrection, a scream into the chaos. Redemption incarnate, shaking the arena to its core. But the nightmare wasn't over. Atlanta inbound with 7.4 seconds left. One pass, one shot, and the dream could steal it all. Eyes locked on the target. Everyone except Lexie Hull. Freeze the frame. Her gaze razor-focused. She read the pass. She lunged. No hesitation. Pure instinct. Snatched the ball from thin air. Game over. Series clinched. That single steal, more than a play. A statement. A manifesto. You can injure our stars, twist every call, count us out, but never break the fever. What seemed like a wasted night of shooting became the defining moment of the playoffs. Pull steal wasn't luck, it was emblematic of this team all year. No excuses. Fight through your hell, answer when your team calls, and then the eruption. The locker room flooded with raw, unfiltered emotion. A decade of silent frustration shattered. Kelsey Mitchell clutching teammates, relief pouring like a river. Aaliyah Boston weeping, the weight of history crashing down. Lexie Hull, hero no one saw coming, cradling the ball like a sacred relic. Even Caitlin Clark, sidelined, losing her mind on the bench. Her post-game tweet screamed it all, fury unleashed, but the fairy tale pause was brief. Coach Stephanie White reminded them this was step one. Waiting in the semifinals, a monster. The Las Vegas Aces. Otto Wilson. Chelsea Gray. Jackie Young. A championship roster that punishes error with surgical precision. Becky Hammond didn't mince words, firing a warning sharper than any blade. They haven't seen the real Aces yet. We were in turmoil, and they caught us. But now we buckle down and finish it. The Fever had survived injuries, phantom calls, elimination. Now, the giant looms, the dynasty every team measures themselves against. Their cinematic victory sets up a clash of Cinderella versus Buzzsaw. Tonight, Indiana proved that faith and fight can rewrite history. But as Hammond's warning echoes, the real question hangs heavy. Did they win the battle only to lose the war? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Can this Fever team survive the Aces, or is the miracle about to crash into reality? Hit subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss our next breakdown. Because when desperation meets opportunity, anything can happen. Every possession matters. Every choice is a fight. Every second is survival.